listening to the Progressive Microscope with DJ Tony, only on Rick Henry's House of Prague.
Get up off your knees. Save yourself from evil, 'cause evil never sleeps. Please try to stay away.
That's right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Progressive Microscope with DJ Tony. Hey, that's me. That's right. Oh, happy Saturday, everybody. In case you guys didn't know, that was a replay of Steve Bonino's influences from a couple of weeks ago, Friends and Family. And I was nice enough for Steve to put one of my tracks on there, Africa. So big shout out to Steve Bonino. Thank you very much for including my track on your show. Thank you so much. So I hope everybody's off to a great Saturday today. Hello to Billy Allen, Mama Salami, Rick Henry, Roby One, and today's guest, Marek Arnold. Marek, how are you? Can you hear me?
I'm fine. Hello. Nice to be here.
How you doing today?
I can hear you.
Good.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm celebrating the birthday party of my daughter today, but I'm now here in the studio for an hour or so.
Well, happy birthday to your daughter.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, good, man. Well, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me. I know it took a few weeks as you've been so busy, so I do appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to hang with us here at the House of Prague. And so congratulations on the new album. I really love the album. Marek Arnold's Artrock project, another wonderful release. Tell me about what went into the thought process on going into this album and making a whole new band up from some of the other bands you've been involved in.
Yeah, the main reason it could be Corona, I think. So there was time. Yeah, there was simply the time to make another album. And I was asked so many times after I released the first single, Stay, to make a whole album with this music. And I said, no, why? There are so many bands of me, and every band has its own fans and its own style. Yeah. So do you really think you need an album of Marek Arnold? But then I had the time and I said, okay, I just start writing songs and sketches, ideas, and yeah, and it was growing very fast. And then I asked a lot of guests, and yeah, it became real in I think half a year. So
God, I know there's so many great guests on this album. I mean, Peter Jones, Arno Mensis. I love Arno. He is so amazing. I mean, there's just Melanie Mao. I mean, it's incredible how many people are on this album. Marco Miniman. I mean, you have a lot of friends, Marek.
That's a good thing. If you work for years with different bands and guesting on so many albums. So I released more than 60 albums. in prog scene until today. So that's a good point. You really have a lot of contacts, and when I made this album, I thought about the best possible solution for every song, for every instrument, every song. And I said, okay, I may not get all of them, but maybe a few. And at the end, only two said no, or that didn't come back to me. So at the end, I'm really happy that more than 50 amazing guests said yes, we are here, and yeah, it's a great honor for me that all these guests really joined that project.
God, I know. I mean, reading this, all the people on here, there are just so many amazing musicians. Sean Timms, Adam Holzman. I mean, these are guys that are Steve Unruh.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, these are guys who are just top notch, some of the best musicians in the world, and you managed to gather them all for your album. I mean, that is just incredible. It's incredible.
It was really hard.
I bet.
You can
Yeah,
imagine.
because you're sending files back and forth everywhere, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Did any of them come to the studio, or was it all through files being transferred?
Of course, all the friends and partners I work with my own bands and projects that could come to me, they were here, of course. Yeah, but Sean and Pete and all these guests and Derek Sherinian and all the others, of course, sent his files. Yeah. It's easy today, but you really have to be very organized, not to change the tracks or put in on the wrong positions, and even think of the wrong songs. Sometimes I got 5 tracks on one day, and I was really thinking about which song I had to put it in. So it was really sometimes funny, sometimes really annoying, but at the end it was growing and in a very exciting way. It made a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, on some aspects you lose that direction when you don't have somebody there in the studio. My band, we do the same thing. I got a guy, none of us are within 1,000 miles of each other. So we're all spread across the United States, and there's no way for us to be in the studio together. So, I mean, we did everything on file transfer. And it's really, tough when you're looking for one type of direction, and maybe the file you get sent is in a whole different direction than having to explain to them, hey, that's, too much bass, or, too much size, or that's too fast, or, so it's really an accomplishment to get all this done, especially with that amount of musicians that you have on your album. That must have been just really taken a lot of time to mix all that.
Yes, so I had to prepare a lot of things. Yeah, I really made good explanations, and I made demos how to play, how I imagine it's to play, and such things. Yeah, so I really had a lot of time to spend in the studio and on the table, and yeah, of course.
So did you write sheet music out for them and maybe send them the sheet music, or did you let them just kind of free form for what they wanted to put in that part?
It depends on the person, of course. Yeah, some of them really wanted to be free, or I knew that they will be best if they don't give any scores or such things, and others asked me for scores, so I had to write them down, of course. Yeah. So over the years, you know how to work with the persons, and the new joinings. That was the big challenge to find it out.
Yeah, because some of these musicians, have you ever worked with everybody, or were some of these musicians new in working with you?
Oh, a lot of them were new. I never worked with Adam Holtzman or with Jane Gedder or Marco Miniman, Derek Sherinian. Um, but I think that were the musicians that reproduced things or played solos, or they got very precise demos. Yeah. So for Marco, I had a pre-programmed drumming sketch. Yeah. But I said, please make it your way. Yeah. And
Right.
he's so brilliant. It's a 17-minute song or 16-minute song, and I really think he played it in one take. So I didn't find any little notice or yeah, where he could cut it or such things. Yeah, I really didn't find anything. So I think he played it in one take, and I got it one day later. I sent him. So I have no idea how he could yeah, keep it in mind. Yeah.
He's one.
It's a tough tune.
Yeah, that's because he's one of the greatest in the world. I mean, he is
Yeah,
probably in the top 5 greatest drummers right now
yeah,
out there.
yeah, for sure.
He is
Yeah,
just amazing. So,
yeah.
I mean, putting all this together, how long did it take you to put all this together, especially working with all these musicians who are very busy on their own and then getting them to contribute something to your album? How long did it take you from start to finish to get the album all done, get everything recorded and mixed and arranged?
Yeah. If we forgot the first single, which was released in 2018 already, I really started during Corona, so I think end of 20. So yeah, you can imagine more than 2 years, of course, at the end.
Wow,
And
that's
I
a
was every day in the studio.
uh, uh, yeah, because
Yeah, a
COVID
lot of work.
really changed a lot of the way that people record, the way people, for a while they couldn't tour. I mean, that had to be really hard on working musicians like yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean,
for sure.
some of the musicians that I talked to, they were almost happy about it because it gave them time to do some of the things that they want to do because they were forced to be at home. So a lot of them got a lot
Mhm.
of, you
Yeah,
know.
I think some musicians I have on my album only could join because they were at home this
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Otherwise, they would have been out
for
on the
sure.
road like they always do.
Not
Yeah.
normally the road or in the studio. Yeah, so they found the time during Corona too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So tell us about, we're going to play a couple of the tracks here from the album. I know we're kind of limited on time, so I won't keep you too
Yeah,
long.
sure.
To tell us a little bit about the background on some of the other bands you work with, because your bio and your discography is absolutely amazing. The bands that you are in are all some of my favorite bands. I played some Cyril last week, and I am so in love with that band. And Seven Steps to the Green Door, I've told you this before, is one of my favorite all-time bands. Tell us about all the bands that you're involved with and all some of the proud moments that you're most proud of over the years.
Oh, that's hard. I think the challenge started with Toxic Smile, of course, and it was my first rock band. We released 9 releases, so yeah, till 2018, I think. Since then, it's on ice, but yeah, they all started for me, so that's still a very special band for me. And today, I think Seven Steps to the Green Door, of course, is the main band, main project, and I'm just editing the last things of the next album, which will be the third part of the book trilogy.
Mhm.
So I'm really happy about the new recordings, and I think it's a worthy last scene of that big concept thing. And yeah, after 12 years now, it's finally done. And I really think it's a great one, a great third
Yeah. The
trilogy
book,
part.
my
So
favorite all albums. The book is just a perfect masterpiece from start to front. I mean, from start to finish, the book is just amazing. I still
yeah,
listen to that album. Dividing Water is
that's
still my
cool.
track on there. It is just so cool.
Cool.
And I
Yeah, I
cannot.
think you will have the third part too, because it's I think the lie was a bit harder. Yeah, it's based on the story, and it's a bit harder, a bit darker, sometimes a bit stranger. But the third part is very melodical again. So I think if you love the book more than the lie, you will love the truth as third part much again. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, in case you didn't notice, I borrowed some of the lie for my intro music. In case you didn't notice,
Oh yeah, I noticed. I noticed it.
I love that
Very
track.
cool.
Your Father is just such a great track. It is so darn cool. So
Nice.
anyway, yeah, I mean, so many bands over the years. I got to tell you, man, the first time I heard "Step Into My World" was the first. I can still remember the first track I heard from Seven Steps. I was immediately hooked. And my thoughts at that time were, this band is so different and so innovated compared to other bands. And then when I heard the album, it was just absolutely insane that there could be that much variety and that much mixture of different genres that all came together so perfectly. So, I mean, I've been a big fan since I first heard that "Step Into My World," but I still play that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it's a very early album, and it was a lot of joy and a lot of fun to put all these styles together. And I really think when we are now ready with the book uh, parts, yeah. So I really hope that we will, yeah, maybe with the next tracks we will go back to the early times and can be a bit more free in writing and combining styles. So I really look forward to this time.
oh man, I love the progression of the band, though. I mean, all the albums, Fetish, and I mean, all these, the Lie and the Book, and you know, they've all just had so much to offer. Every album of your guys is just insane. I mean, I love all these bands you're in. I mean, you were part of UPF with my good buddy Truey, and man, I love
Yeah.
Mark. He's great. Me
Oh
and
yeah,
him.
I was happy to join Unitopia on stage some weeks ago when they were in Reichenbach. I tried to speak English. It's Reichenbach in in German.
Right.
And could join for the garden, like on UPF tour. It was a great fun, and I finally met Steve Unruh. So it's I think we made 8 or 9 albums together, but I met him first time.
First time
And
in.
yeah, of course, Sean. It was really great time we had.
Yeah, and Sean Timms. Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
man, just
exactly.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So hey, let's take a quick break and take a song and play a song. The first one I picked out is "Cold Run." I mean, I could have done any song off of here. Let me bring this down here. Tell us a little bit about this one, "Cold Run."
Cold Run is one of the 2 older songs. It's original from Toxic Smile, but we only played it live and in a very tiny version on our orchestral DVD. So it was played live with orchestra, and I always planned to release it in the way we played it live, but with the orchestra. So I tried to mix both versions. Yeah. So on one hand, I tried to get the power we had in a live and heavy rock version. On the other hand, I tried get these strings and horn and oboe parts again, and the flute, and I really love how it at the end came together.
Oh, it's a great song. I mean, all the songs on this are great. There's the album is so deeply layered. There is so much to listen to, and so many great melodies and so many great riffs, and it's just a very well composed, wonderful album. So let's take a minute. We're going to listen to "Come Away With Me" from the brand new album from Marek Arnold's Artrock project. So you guys know what to do. We're going to hear "Cold Run." Crank it up, enjoy, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Ran out of feelings to feel, ran out of thoughts left to think, ran out of words left to say. I sit and watch the stars, tears have passed, and I no longer care. Tears have passed, and I no longer care. Wasted all that remains way inside.
That's right. Welcome back. Oh, man, that was called Cold Run. That is brand new from Marek Arnold's Artrock project. What a great track, Marek. My God.
Thank you.
There's so much going on in there. That orchestra parts are gorgeous. They're just beautiful.
I really try to put them together like I would do live. So that's they are not perfectly in tune and such things, yeah. But I really love how it comes together this way. It's you can hear it's not a good library. It's played real. So
Yeah, it's wonderful. Vocalists on that one.
Of course, Larry. It's the original Toxic Smile singer, and he's singer of Serial too. So you will know him.
I love his voice. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's singer in a Phil Collins and Genesis cover band, so he really can sound like Phil Collins. So and sometimes he does it on my tracks too.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Hey, I'm looking at those keyboards in the background. What do you got behind you?
Oh, it's a behind me 3 notes, a Matrix Brute from Arturia, a
Oh,
Mellotron, and Cork Wave State, and what's this? And the old Core Karma.
wow. Hey, how do you
So
like
that's and
how do you
yeah,
like the
and the master keyboard. Yeah.
how do you like the Matrix Brute?
I'm yeah. I sold it and hold it back, get it back. So I really missed it. It's a bit different in sound. Yeah, it can be really strange, and it can sound like a bit like a Minimoog too. So you have both of them, but of course it's a monophonic synth again. So I don't use it that often, but if I use it, it sounds like a Matrix Brute. So that's the good thing.
Right. So, what are some of your favorite stage keyboards that you bring with you? Because I know you can't bring everything, but what are some of your favorites that you bring on tour with you when you do concerts?
Even yeah, it belongs to the band, of course, but with the rock bands, I'm on stage with Nords. So I have my Nord stage 4 or 3 before, and I have an old Nord Wave. I like the older one more than the two in sound, so I still go with on stage with it. But I also love my Mellotron, but I don't use it in prog context because the samples are good enough on the Nord.
Mm-hmm.
I use it on a little, I would say, cabaret like thing I do with yeah, it's a kind of literature, yeah, okay. Literature and music program I make, so my English is not the best. And therefore I really love it because it sounds so special, and the audience loves it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough lugging. Nobody can lug all their keyboards with them everywhere they go, and so many to choose from, hard to pick which one you want to
Oh
take.
yes,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah. So, when did, going back a little bit in time, when did you first discover that you wanted to be a musician, and how were you introduced to music?
Oh, it started very early. So my parents, I think they sent me to learn the recorder in the age of 4, and I think I needed 4 years to know that I want to become a musician, but I didn't know which instrument or which kind of music I will like. I started learning clarinet with 8, and I think saxophone with 15. And I decided that I want to study saxophone. But I had to learn piano, of course, for the study. It was the starting point for me to discover the keyboards and yeah, making first electronic music and such things. and writing some movie music and little film scores for yeah, only small small projects this time. And but I when I started saxophone, it was jazz. Yeah, it's always jazz. If you if you try to study saxophone, you will have to study jazz. And I felt that it wasn't. I like it. Yeah, I like playing jazz, and I'm doing it on nearly every weekend. but it's not the music I instantly love or I would hear privately. So it took a long time to find out what I really want to do. I started and started studying, and I even thought about leaving it again. I felt wrong there, and then there was a good friend that gave me images and words of Dream Theater, and from that day my life changed completely. And to make it short, yeah, I invested a lot of time to get a bit better on the keyboards, because I couldn't write polyphonic music, difficult music on a saxophone. So that was the reason. And even I finished the study of saxophone, but yeah, I found my music then, and it took 1 year or 1.5 year to found Toxic Smile, as a new band, as a new project of mine. And then yeah, it was developing very fast. So
Yeah.
with the first album we were in Korea and at a major label, and were on tour with Slayer and Sepultura, and we had a great time for the first album, and nobody really realized how important this was. Yeah, we were very young, and when we came back, we thought we are the big superstars now. And 2 years later, we didn't get any money, and we hadn't a follow-up album, and nobody cares about. So we had to start from the scratch again. So today I'm very thankful for this time. But on the other hand, I learned a lot. Yeah, the music scene is a very tough one, a very hard one, and at the end, I think it made us stronger.
So, who are some of the artists that have influenced you when you were young? Who are some of the artists that help make you who you are today?
Oh, I think it's really Dream Theater as the main influence in this time. I needed some time to discover the old bands like Genesis and Yes, which I like too. On the other side, I was a Beatles fan, of course. My parents were big Beatles fans, and I grew up with the music. And I think there's no real musician that don't like the Beatles. So I think they were a really groundbreaking band. So for the whole music, I will not say whole music industry. That's wrong. But for the development of today's yeah, how can I say, yeah, all the styles and all the most popular styles you know today, I have the feeling that they were starting with the Beatles. So that's so there's so much in there.
Yeah, they changed the face of music. They changed the way people thought about music and what they can do, especially like George Martin coming in and doing all the crazy
technical things. Yeah, the music
right.
production on the others too, and of course the harmonies, the writings, all these instruments they used at the end, and they were so innovative. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I really love the late Beatles. I really love, and they are still an influence until today.
Yeah. One of my coworkers asked me yesterday, he said, "What do you think the greatest album of the 60s was?" And I told him right off the top of my head, I said, Abbey Road.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Abbey Road, White Album are my favorites too. Yeah.
I love the White Album. My God. See, they hated the White Album but I thought it was wonderful. I love the White Album. I thought it was so good.
Yeah, so great.
It was just a little broken up compared to Abbey Road, how Abbey Road flows through all the song progressions so perfectly, where the White Album did not. It was, John's
Yeah, they
song.
are more songs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they are great. All these songs are really great.
Even Revolution number 9 is still super cool.
Yeah.
Hey, let's another song from the album. I have picked the song called Stay, and I know that is one of the earlier tracks. You want to tell us about that one?
Yeah, that really was the starting point. I was asked by Uwe Dreitinger of the Artrock Festival to write, how is it called? Anthem? Yeah, Anthem. So for the festival, so a hymn. And he asked me to write a track and realize with guests, and he would help me finding the right musicians for. And yeah, that was the first track and the original thought to realize such a international song with guests, which later was built into an album. And I some friends of mine, Martin Schneller, of course, Melanie, to sing. And he asked some of his contacts from bands that played already at the Bergkeller or at the Artrock Festival. Yeah, and that was the first track. And I think it's played until today on many internet radio stations. And I got so great feedback all the time. And I think I don't know why this song is so special for so many people, but it seems to have a strong melody and a good structure, and that I tried to not to copy, but take it at a starting point for the whole album.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's listen to this, folks. Brand new from Marek Arnold's Artrock project. This is called Stay. You guys know what to do. Crank up the volume and enjoy. We'll be back in a few minutes with Marek Arnold. That's right.
Salting my wounds without emotion. And there you were.
That's right. Welcome back. That was brand new. It's called Stay. That was from Marek Arnold's Artrock project. Man, that gave me chills. I love that tune. Oh my God. That is such a beautiful track, Marek.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous, man. So was that the instrument you used on there, that sax you were holding up?
That's a soprano sax.
That's a soprano.
I love playing soprano. I think it's that's a good advantage when you were playing clarinet. So
Yeah.
I think I have a very lyrical sound. So that's a bit special maybe. It can be a really annoying instrument because it's hard to hold in tune such things. And because I was playing clarinet, I think I have a good intonation, so I can can control it very well. So
Yeah.
it's one of my most beloved instruments over the time, and especially in studio, I play a lot of soprano sax instead of alto or tenor.
Yeah. See, I would have thought that. I thought that was clarinet. I don't, my
Yeah,
ears.
many things. Yeah, a lot of people think it's clarinet, and it's a little bit of because of my sound. Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's wonderful though, man. It's such a perfect start and finish with that sound. It just leads you into that beautiful melody. Those vocals were giving me chills or
Oh,
bumps,
cool.
whatever they call it in Europe. It gives me, it
Yeah,
was so
called
wonderful.
Gänsehaut.
I'm sorry.
It's called Gänsehaut in German.
Ah, Inzahout. So I had Inzahout. Nice. I'm going to remember that. Oh, man. Oh, hey, before I forget, I have to say thank you to you for listening to our albums, the Red 32 album and my new album, Tony Romero's Vortex. Thank you so much for
It was a
taking
great
time.
pleasure. Yeah, I really enjoyed the albums. So both are very different, of course, but I enjoyed listening to it. Yeah, very good stuff.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you, though, man. I really appreciate you giving me some feedback on it and, taking time out of your day to listen to it. I send my albums off to a lot of people, and most of the time, busy musicians don't listen. So it really meant a lot to me.
I copy on a stick and I listen in the car. So that's the only place I have some time to listen. But I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you very much, man. It meant a lot to me. So I know you're strapped for time. You got your daughter's birthday going. I'm going to let you go. But before you go, tell us where people can follow you and where they can buy you and listen to your music.
Yeah, of course. You can find me on Bandcamp, of course, and you can take a first look at my homepage, which is www. Marek Arnold, in one word, marekarnold.de. And yeah, the only thing is on my Bandcamp page at the moment, there's only, I think, 2 last vinyls left, but no CDs. For the CDs, you have to write me directly because it's on distribution at the moment, and I don't want to sell it. I only have some private copies for me to sell at concerts, and
Right.
if anyone me, yeah, so maybe later I can offer in the Bandcamp shop, but you can of course find nearly all albums of my bands and projects on my Bandcamp page.
Yeah, wonderful. So we can listen to you at all the major streaming services, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Tidal, all the major venues. You'll be able to find Marek Arnold and all the projects that he's involved with. Marek, man, I love the new album. Congratulations. I think it's a beautiful album. I give it a perfect 5 out of 5. I think it's gorgeous. After we hang up, I'm going to play for the listeners all of Berlin 2049. I'm going to play all of it,
Wow.
all the 6 tracks that make Berlin 2049. So if you don't mind, real quick, tell us a little bit about what they're going to hear on that, on the behind the Berlin 2049.
Okay, the story was written by my friend George Andrade. He's the writer of the lyrics for Seven Steps too. So meanwhile, he's part of the band, and we are working together for many years now. And he wrote a really cool story about artificial intelligence at the point where nobody could think about the point we are standing today. So I think it's 3 years ago we were talking about that story and nobody could think about such a development for chat GPT and all these things in such a short time. But I really love the story, and I've tried to combine songs that are sounding a bit more modern than my other tracks, a bit more electronicals to give a way to have a look into the future and the past too.
Yeah. So I'm going to play that in its entirety. I will go ahead and let you go. Again, thank you so much, Marek, for taking time to chat with us today. Man, I am such a big fan of yours, and I think you're one of the greatest musicians on the planet right now. You're one of the best modern day musicians out there. I think you're wonderful.
Thank you so much. And thanks for the support all the time. So bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. You take care. Thank you so much, Marek. Have a great
and a nice show. Thank you. Bye.
All right, ladies.